Hello everybody, I am back from my trip from Phoenix, and it was like Christmas at the door with so many new products that Thrustmaster has sent me and some other ones we're going to be getting into soon enough. Gonna have a little bit of coffee here. We're gonna do a quick unboxing of none other than this big thing right here, the TCA Yoke Pack Boeing edition. We're gonna be unboxing that and checking it out. Super excited about that. As well as this thing right here, the TC Quadrant Boeing edition. So we will have a new throttle quadrant to mess with as well. So we'll quickly unbox these and then we'll check them out in the sim and we'll get started. Let's do it. Okay, we're gonna start with the big box first, and this one does come with a throttle quadrant as well, but the other box is for another set of them. So we're already gonna see those. Probably don't need to open the other box. That's for a 747 setup, which will be awesome to use, but we're gonna go open this one up here. There we go. I've already taken the liberty of undoing all the other stuff. It comes in the classic Thrustmaster, you know, box within a box within a box packaging, and boom, there we are. You know how I roll in these unboxings. I'm not an unboxing channel, so who cares, right? You got this thing here. You have this little paper here, which is really cool. Shows you rudder, yoke, and throttle, and the movements and everything it does. Kind of cool to put that on your wall if you wanted to. Really nice touch there. And open this thing up and check it out. Here we are, the actual contents of the package. We've got, looks like probably the stuff that we would need. Yep, there's a little rubber stops and all that stuff. That's gonna be your little desk mount piece there for the clamp for the actual throttle. And I have those, you know, ones that I use for my Airbus, and I'll probably end up putting those on there. I don't know, but I'm gonna give this a shot today. That box is out of the way. We move on to the next one. It's kind of big. This has got to be the actual throttle quadrant, I would imagine. Why wouldn't it be, right? Yeah, corrugated, all that. Kind of like we saw with the other stuff. There we go. Yep, and there she is, right there. Not too shabby at all. And I did get hands-on with this thing at the Flight Sim Expo. So, seems very, very similar likeness to what we had with the Airbus stuff. But man, the throttles are way, way better. They have a much more, you know, higher friction to them, and they have a nice, more like a solid feel to them. Hard to explain. And there's a little tool down there, of course, to connect things together, because you have to take out all the little screws and all that stuff. So that's that. There's the USB cord for that. And then here is our little levers here. We have a speed brake lever, and then you have your actual, these little guys here. So we're gonna check those out next. So these are the actual levers, and they're actually pretty big. I was surprised about that whenever I saw them on the showroom floor at the expo, but they are really nice. They are, you know, plastic, obviously. This one's got more of a glossy plastic to it, and there are buttons on the outside edge there for toga switches, which are really, really cool. And then the reverser click right there, very light in the middle there, but a positive click up for your actual reverser, which is only matters, you know, you're just pulling them back there for a nice click there. So it falls back into place automatically, as you can see. All right, done with that cardboard. That's gonna be going out to recycling, and now we get to the big boy. That thing was wedged in there, but I finally got it undone. Here it is right here, so move that out of the way. And now we got the actual yoke. We're gonna check that out. The other side had extra padding, and it had the cable that we need and a spring and a little U-shaped thing there. That's for the actual little holder that goes on the front of it. And then there is the actual instruction manual. And let's pull out the main unit here. You get a sense of just how large it is. It's based off of the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, and you got throttles here if you don't have the actual throttle, you know, pack that comes along with it. But there it is. Nice pendular system. Oh man, that feels so smooth and good. I cannot wait to use this thing. And as you can see, it's got the Xbox stuff on it. A little winded after moving all these boxes around today. And then a landing gear lever. A lot more positive click than we saw on the demo unit at the expo. Actually, the whole thing feels a lot more tension-wise, a lot higher than what I saw at the expo floor. But very cool unit. Can't wait to try it out. There it is. The pendular Boeing Yoke system. Man, this is going to be cool. Okay, we're all loaded up in the sim, Microsoft Flight Simulator. A big thanks to Thrustmaster for sponsoring this. I don't think I said that in the very, very beginning, but I have it, you know, marked as a sponsored video, of course. But I wouldn't be able to have this unless they had provided it to me early so I could show it to you. So we're loaded up. Everything's good to go. It's pretty much plug and play. The only thing I had to do was just kind of change some things to my liking. like the speed brake, because you do get an actual flap lever that you can select as well for that little section there. You can move these guys over to the left and then put the flaps over here if you would like. There's so much movement you can do, and it's super easy. You just pull the whole thing off like that, and it slides right on top of there. Very super simple. And the reversers I have set up to where you go forward, back, and then when you hit the reversers and you hold them, now you can apply how much reverse thrust you're giving, which I really like the fine control. That's something I used to do in X-Plane all the time. So you could also set that to your decrease, throttle, and use it as a button if you would like, but just showing you how the function works for that. We have our autopilot setting, so the auto throttle here. If we turn our auto throttles off, you press it, that arms the auto throttle, or actually we'll arm it. When you press that button, it turns the auto throttle on. Then you have the heading hold button here, and then you have your altitude hold and disengage there. This thing here at the bottom, this moves from your IS Mach speeds right there, which works. You can go heading and track mode and change it that way, or you can go to your altitude and select it that way. I love this so much. Something super simple to use, and it's right there, and you can even hit select to select it as you see fit. So this button here's a dummy, doesn't do anything. This button here is your parking brake. So there you go, that's the parking brake. That's how that whole thing sets up. Here at the bottom, you can switch between, engine 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. If you have a second system, you can easily do that. Another cool thing is that you can plug in your headset directly into this on the left, and it will output the audio that way. Now, for those of you that are Windows 10 people like me, you know how much Windows just loves taking over your audio, so it did that. I had to go in there and make sure everything was set up as I liked it there. Here at the bottom are your throttle as well, but I'm not using those. I have those disengaged because I'm using a throttle quadrant setup, obviously. Landing gear, lever up, down, as you can see there. That's pretty much the functionality there. I love this little thing here. This is a tablet holder or a phone holder. You throw that right in there and you're good to go. And on the back, it's just USB power on this. There's no external power needed. So you're pretty much plug and play, ready to go out of the gate. As far as this goes, the only thing I did was swap. I turned off aileron trim because I'll bump that and probably screw myself up, as well as the rudder trim. Well, I still have the rudder trim there, but I'm not worried about it. It's on the B button there. The A button here is my actual, I swapped from the Y being my flaps over to this being my flaps. So, since I'm not using the flap controller here, I'm going to use it this way. And you can see just how that works just like that. And this is your trim. We can actually see the trim in action here, looking right here, the stab trim. You see how many units we're putting up and down there. And it's really cool, but out of the gate, it's just like a real Boeing 787, except for this part here. This is more of like what you would see on a 7.4 or something like that. As you can see here on the 787, they have modeled here. It's not the case. Now, as far as the profile goes, I can show you towards the end of the video after we're done flying, just how smooth the actual yoke is compared to the one we're seeing here in front of us. And there's a profile in there that keeps this right here. It's a nice little dead zone, so I can kind of rock it back there, and it's good to go. This is a little clamp thing here. If you want to use it for putting a piece of paper up there or whatever, you can. And then you have some buttons down here. We're not going to hit any of these buttons to screw anything up, but there are external buttons here as well, because it is a Xbox ready yoke. You can plug into your Xbox console and go flying, and here you go. All three of these things right there are your Xbox buttons you wouldn't normally need to use. In my case, I don't. You have a button here that changes between the PC setup and the Xbox setup. You have to flip that switch on the yoke as well. But that's pretty much an overview of everything. Enough of the yibba jibba jibba jabba. Let's go flying this thing. Okay, I went ahead and reset the flight so we don't have to mess with anything here, because I was messing with stuff I don't want to screw up: aileron trim, rudder trim, etc. This side button here, I found out is the actual disconnection for our auto throttle. We turn our auto throttle on with that button and then press that in. Boom, you see how you can turn that on and off with the side button here on the actual throttle. Both of them work the same way, so that one and that one. Pretty cool how that works. So speed, you can dial this in to 250 if you would like. Really cool to have that. And then, you can just move this little guy here in the middle over to heading mode and change that heading where you want it. 315 is fine there. Altitude is at 10,000. We'll bring it down to 5,000 here. Just quickly spinning it. It's really nice to do that without having to go over there and actually click on it. So really like that. There we go, about 5,000 there. There we go. We're flaps 15 there. We're ready to go flying. So all we need to do now is just push forward on this yoke. I'm looking here. Oh man, that feels so good. I'm looking here, and it looks like we have a tailwind situation. I don't know. I just hit fly now in the sim, so we'll see how it goes. Parking brake is off. Bring these things up. Let them kind of stabilize here. We're rolling forward, looking good there. And let's go ahead and advance our power all the way for takeoff. We probably don't even need 100%. Default 787 for the win. Oh, it's so different to be using controls like this. All right, we have that left cross when I can already see it. Let's go ahead and pull our power back a little bit here. She is super overpowered. We're already at 80 knots there. And keep that nose forward on the ground. You can see our V1 speed coming up about 135 or so here. So bringing that out as we increase our speed. There with V1. And rotate on back. Right rudder. And she's off the ground just like that. Man, that was interesting. Okay, thanks for the hiccup, game. Bring our gear up there, and watching our speed on the flaps here as well. Don't mind that traffic there. They are landing in Seattle, so we'll keep an eye on them. We're just gonna do a quick circuit here at this spot. In fact, we're gonna make a right turn here, pull our power back even more, and we're gonna stay below the clouds here. Nothing too crazy for sure. We'll keep flaps 15 in right now. That's working out for us. Let's use our trim here. Bring that nose forward. There we go. Got a good trim on it. There we go. You know, keeping in mind that this is actually, what's crazy about it is this is a default 787, and we know how scary this thing can be to fly. And it's doing pretty decent here. All right, that one's much better. Relieved a lot of pressure there. Don't worry about that airplane. We're just doing our little circuit here at Boeing Field. All right, yeah, you see the winds there. We're actually gonna do a teardrop approach here because they had us take off on the wrong runway. So we're gonna do that. Okay, so weird to be turning it this way. I'm not used to this at all. Keeping this straight, but actually turning it. I pull our power back a little bit more. We don't need to get into the red tape anytime soon. I just seen how the functionality of all that worked, and it's pretty good. Like I said, you know, on the showroom floor. Yeah, we're not FedEx 127, but thank you. Bye-bye. This here on the showroom floor felt a lot more, I don't know, the detent in the middle was more clicky. This does not feel that at all. It's very smooth there in the middle. Let's pull this back. As far as the throttle quadrant, the actual using the clamp, the desk clamp that came with it, it's kind of flimsy on my desk. Now, it says not to use it on a you know, glass desk, obviously. I'll pull our power back here a little bit more. Don't need to be doing that. We're gonna kill ourselves here today. Don't worry about that. But this, I was kind of twisting it, and it just kept kind of going. No, I don't want to now acknowledge any of your stuff. Who cares? Okay, turning back around here. It's raining. This is real world weather. Not real world time. Actually, it's real world time too, I believe. Now you can use this little hat switch to look around freely, which is really cool as well. Okay, we're looking for Boeing Field here. 180 knots or so to slow this thing down a lot more. There's the rabbits for it, so we're gonna be on a left base. This is so strange to be going back and forth like that. All right, we have our flaps in, we're good. Let's add a little bit more flap, There we go. Gear is down, and we're good there. Let's watch our speed here. This thing feels like it wants to fall out of the sky, so that's good there. And yeah, we're gonna be nice and smooth here. I have Sky Dolly on, so we can watch our landing replay here. I love the throw there is on the yoke, though. A little bit more power here. Is how far you can push that thing forward. Look at the motion on that. It's crazy. So I'm not used to how much back pressure I have to give the airplane. All right. So yeah, the winds are out of the south. So I don't know why they had us, you know, looking so stupid earlier, but that's okay. All right. So let's try to land this thing now. Full flap. A bit more power here. It's a little slow. I want to keep it, because it's a little gusty right now, I can feel. There we go, looking good. A little high on the approach, but that's okay. Let's see how much movement I'm giving the yoke here. A little back. I want to give you a little fast here because I'm not sure. It's default 787, you know how that goes. All right, looking good here. We have our landing lights. Everything's all set by default, so we're good on that. Yeah, the airplane's feeling very nice here, nice and smooth. Once we get over the threshold, we'll add a little bit of rudder here and just let her come on down. And the movement you have on the yoke is so nice. Ooh, it's dropping. Ooh, yeah. The reverser's out. There we go. And you can see I clicked them in and pushed them forward like that. That's good. Look at all that crosswind there, man. On the right. Oh, that felt really nice, though. The amount of throw you have in that yoke is so realistic. All right, 80 knots. Go ahead and clear it. Don't even need to mess with it anymore. Wow, okay. So with the actual throttle quadrant, I think I was going to say this when I was flying, but I got sidetracked. The only thing I don't like is this right here. You can see how they move left and right there, left and right. I wish we had like a screw or something. We could tighten those down so they don't move around so much. But I can see the appeal of, you know, pulling it off and putting it back on there very quickly. So that would be the reason for that. But I mean, other than the desk mount being a little movement like this for me, you know, I have those clamps, which are much better, and I could actually hard mount them onto that, which would be really nice. So there's that as well. But that's the only thing I can say. The reversers are they feel a little flimsy and cheap, but they have a positive click right there. And then when you push it forward, it clicks out of place and drops. So other than that, I mean, it feels good. If they're not too small, these actually feel pretty big. I mean, you know, my hand size there. All right, let's bring the flaps up here. We're all done with our test on the 787. I'm happy with it. It was interesting for sure. We weren't flying 100%, you know, of course. Just having some fun, checking out the yoke. But man, the amount of back pressure I had to have on that round out to flare was insane. Not used to that at all. But all in all, I think it was a great test. So again, huge thanks to Thrustmaster for sponsoring this video in particular, but also sending me all this stuff early. I mean, just truly amazing what we have. There's nothing like this out there. There just isn't. A pendular system like this, like a real Boeing yoke, you just don't have that. And they thought out of the box on this one for sure. Love the little iPad holder there. The landing gear lever was fantastic. It has a nice positive click to it. Now, it doesn't have a middle, you know, off switch, but I think they were modeling that off after the 787 here, as you can see. It's raining here, crappy. I guess I have that turned off, but that's pretty much it. I love it. There's that little thing to look around all you want. Pretty cool how that all works. And there's an update for Simlink Navigraph. Thank you. Not now. Good Lord, man. The stuff that pops up when you're flying, I swear. But anywho, that's going to do it for this video of Microsoft Flight Simulator and checking out this new Boeing Yoke. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Pre-orders will be hitting, I think, today, and they'll be fulfilled by December 23rd, which is their first time they're going to be able to put something out before Christmas hits, which is really cool. I'll let you watch the landing replay from a couple angles, and then we'll get on out of here. I'll see you next time. Take care. If you're looking for merch, be sure to check out the links in the description or click on the one here that you see on the screen. Are you not happy with your current soap products? Star Symphony makes handmade soap with all natural ingredients. They even send the recipe so you can make it yourself at home. Star Symphony now with a limited run of the Galaxy collab that I helped with. You can get soap, the beard oil that I use, or whipped body oil. Thank you all for the love and support. I do appreciate it.